Oh man.
Hello everyone. Welcome back to Umineko. Naku. Koro ni, not Korone, from Hololive. Gamers. Chiru. I need you to say some words so I can make sure your audio's okay. I need you.
Oh, I thought you were going to do the Nocturne of Truth and Illusions.
Oh, Nocturne of Truth and Illusion.
Yeah, there it is, yeah. Well, hello, Mario. I was searching my brain for that. For some
wrong
reason,
with
I
all
thought
the
it had something to
pinball?
do with Luigi.
Okay, I think you sound pretty good.
Yeah. Hello.
Yo, I just got the Hello Mario. There it was. All right. Audio sounds good. Audio checks good. Welcome back,
Yeah.
everyone. What happened last time?
We started the final episode.
We did. Twilight of the Golden Witch.
Yep. It was just pretty much the premise of this episode was just kind of laid out for us.
Yeah.
I put it in the description. You at home, you can read this as well. Ange is unhappy that Battler insists this game will teach her something more important than the truth.
Because she
so
says
she kinda
nothing's
left.
more important than the truth.
Exactly. She's kind of Erica maxing. Obviously, the big difference in this game is 6-year-old Ange is on the island in October 4th, 1986.
Yep.
And also, Kinzo was, like, insanely jovial and a relatively normal old man.
Yes. And Anja called out Battler because she was like, "That's weird. Don't do that. That's not right."
Yeah. Was Kinzo always like this? It was really funny, too, because Battler's trying to gaslight her.
Yeah, he's just straight up like, "No, that is what Grandpa was always like. Don't you remember,
Yeah.
Anja?"
Yeah. It's crazy.
And then Beatrice showed up right at the very end. It's been a
Beatrice
minute
did show up.
since we've gotten some of our old classic Beatrice on the game board Beatrice. It's been mostly Beatrice background stuff between episode 6 and 7. So she's back.
Yep. And she pouted whenever Battler referred to her as a friend.
No, she didn't pout. She went, "A friend?"
Yeah.
She was flabbergasted.
Indeed.
Oh. And then Anja, because she was fed up, checked out. She left her peace to be peace Anja instead of inhabiting it, I guess, if you want to call it that, and like being in control, because we were told that she went back to basically being like a 6-year-old girl rather than the 18-year-old version of Anja, which was in her mind up until that point. So, that's what we left off with. Actually, the exact thing we left off with was Beatrice did some magic for Anja, and Anja was like, "What? How did you do that? That magic's not real. You're stupid. Tell me how you did it." And then they all went into the house to greet the relatives.
Yep. Yeah. Very good.
Back in the old VIP room. Oh, how we've missed ye.
Pumpkin tea.
When was the last time we were here? Was it when... It was last episode, because it was when Shannon came in here, right? Or what? No, was it Jessica? Did Jessica come in here?
Jessica came in here in a flashback sequence last episode.
Yes. Because the weird thing with the doll happened.
Correct.
Okay. The VIP room was filled with the sweet smell of pumpkin tea. I forgot about the pumpkin spice. And packed
I could never.
with smiles and laughter.
Wow.
Immediately.
Let's see. If you couldn't tell, audience, I still have my cough is still with me, so bear with me, literally. Simply splendid. I am glad to see you in such high spirits. Oh boy.
I could say the same for you. What idiot said you're reaching your last years?
I just borrow a bit of cheer from you. Once I return to my study, I will be little more than a withering, senile old man.
Enough with your lies. Give it up and swear that you'll be living at large until you're 100.
Same here. I haven't seen you for 6 years, but I was surprised to see how little you changed.
You little brat. So it seems you've learned flattery during these past 6 years. Sorry to disappoint you, but you're hardly a fair judge in the matter. I've grown quite old indeed.
I'll bet 1,000 yen that Kinzo's still doing great when he turns 100.
Yeah, me too. Grandfather won't be any different when he's 100.
Don't think you'll get any more presents for complimenting me.
Kinzo laughed cheerily. Beato, who sat next to Battler, was also laughing merrily. Ange stood all alone by the window, staring at the others and trying to figure out what sort of relationship the witch of the portrait and her grandfather had. There was a knock on the door.
Is that you, Genji? Come in.
Pardon the intrusion. Kraus-sama and Natsuhi-sama are here. Father. Oh, and Battler-kun's here too.
It has been some time, Beatrice-san. Has there been any news?
I'm just the way I used to be. Come on, have a seat. And Ange, why are you standing by the window like that? Come over here and sit down.
Ange, come over here.
I'll just watch from here.
Ange grasped the candy she had gotten from Beato tightly, and with a gaze that was still wary, she continued to stare. Genji offered her a chair, but Ange just shook her head.
Let her do as she pleases. Come, Kraus, Natsuhi, and have a seat as well.
Is it something important? I guess Ange and I should leave.
Hey, if you leave, who's going to back me up here? Kinzo, you don't mind if Battler stays, do you?
I have nothing to hide. I care not.
However, he had called Kraus and Natsuhi to the VIP room to meet Beatrice, the Golden Witch. It was hard to imagine that Kinzo wanted to have a casual conversation. After Kinzo said he didn't mind, Beato also asked Battler to stay, so he decided to do so. In order to avoid getting in the way of their conversation, Battler stood up from the sofa and walked over to Ange's window. When the big brother finally came back to Ange, she clung to his waist as though determined not to let him go away again.
Oh, I see. That must be why Ange doesn't like me.
Huh? What do you mean? Ange doesn't dislike you, does she?
You really don't understand women, Battler.
Beato smiled at Ange, but the laughter turned to look the latter, excuse me, not laughter. The latter turned to look the other way.
Even a young woman is a woman nonetheless.
When Beato stopped laughing, the conversation switched gears. Why on earth did Kinzo summon Kraus and Natsuhi to the VIP room, and what was he going to talk about? Everyone fell, automatically silent.
Golden Witch Beatrice. Each and every day I remember the debt the Ushiromiya family owes from when it was saved from the brink of destruction.
Yeah, you'd better thank me.
Well, it's actually your grandmother he's thanking.
Shut up, you.
No, it comes to the same thing. All of that gold has been lent to the Ushiromiya family for 3 generations, and without cost.
We truly cannot be grateful enough.
Gold bars are the same as bricks to me. I had nowhere else to put them, so it was a relief to have Kinzo hold on to them.
Whoa. I'd like to say that just once before I die.
Is the Golden Witch a rich person?
Well, yeah. After all, she just went and lent grandfather 10 tons of gold.
Precisely. I've been borrowing it for several decades, always promising to return it someday. It is a debt I will never be able to fully repay.
The head family has never forgotten its gratitude. Isn't that right, dear?
Of course. If the Beatrices hadn't kindly lent us... Sorry, Beatrices. Beatrice is just funny to me.
Beatrice.
The Beatribe, if you will. If the Beatrices hadn't kindly lent it to us for 3 generations, the Ushiromiya family would have fallen long ago. Even someone as shrewd as father couldn't have done anything without funds to start with.
By now, my money is making money, and the gold that made up my original funds can sleep in peace. Kraus, do you know what I'm about to say?
Since the moment Kraus had been summoned here, he had guessed what Kinzo was hinting at now. All things borrowed must be returned someday. That day had finally come. Yes, I understand, Father.
Beatrice, I do not have many years ahead of me. In fact, this may be the last family conference that we will attend together.
How faint-hearted you sound. You must be joking.
Beato alone laughed. She looked at Badler, so he laughed along with her. Dang. But Kinzo and the others remained silent.
Get a load of this guy.
Apparently, there existed some major concerns about Kinzo's health.
Of course, I do not intend to die as soon as next year. However, I don't believe I can make any certain promises about meeting you again. I never make promises I cannot keep.
You say it so proudly like that. I'm in no position to disagree. Are you serious about this?
Beatrice, I want to make amends, and I must do it while I am still in high spirits. For that reason, I made a decision today.
What's grandfather talking about?
Quiet. Grandfather is about to talk about something very important. By now, even Battler understood what Kinzo was about to propose. Beato probably realized it too. At one time, the Ushiromiya family had ruled the skies like an eagle, before being crushed by the Great Kanto earthquake. The eagle had one of its wings torn off, and it crawled in the mud on the point of death. Then, they were saved by the Golden Witch's golden miracle. Under the Golden Witch's protection, the eagle had nursed its wounds for many years, and now, finally, it was time for the eagle to leave the nest the witch had provided.
I will return all of the gold that your grandmother lent me. Kraus, you have no objections, correct? That gold did not belong to the Ushiromiya family in the first place.
Of course. I have no objections whatsoever.
Are you sure, Kraus? You're an investor, aren't you? You could always do with more money, right? Didn't you want Kinzo to hand the gold over to you?
Yes, now that you mention it, it's hard to deny what you say. However, the contract was always between you and Father, and the gold was yours to begin with.
My husband is the successor after all. Just as father rebuilt the family in one generation, I am sure my husband will make the family thrive in his. And this is something the two of us will do together.
Well said. Yes, that's the spirit.
So, letting go of 10 tons of gold leaves you with no regrets. I must say, that is quite impressive. What can a witch do against an opponent who cannot be swayed by the golden magic?
I will return the gold to you, but the Ushiomiya family will always be supremely indebted to Beatrice, the Golden Witch.
They would return the gold once lent by the Golden Witch. It was both simple and clear. However, the expression worn by the Golden Witch herself was slightly lonely. There's one other piece of property she wants from you. Your grandson. Ange couldn't understand why this was.
Furniture.
After all, if you're returning it, I cannot simply say I don't want it. Take it back. Oh well.
Beato rose from the sofa. Then she walked up to the window and looked down at the rose garden waving in the wind.
Kraus. I've also decided to present you and the others with my inheritance while I still live.
Father!
When I die, you will not only be busy with the funeral, but I imagine that you will have Ava and the others at your throats over the inheritance issue. If all is divided now, the funeral will be less trying for you. Kraus, write this down. And Genji, please be our secretary. I will now lay out the distribution of my assets.
Ooh, interesting to see how Kinzo's actually going to do this for once.
Mm-hmm.
What does he think everyone should get? Although this is nice Kinzo, so it might not actually be realistic, but...
It should be a wheel, and they spin it to see who gets what.
It should actually be a bunch of scratch cards, and they should...
Yeah, true!
Kinzo immediately began explaining how the inheritance would be split up. I would be so upset if my parents were like, this is how we're dividing the inheritance.
I absolutely am going to do that to my kids.
Oh... Badly, realizing that he shouldn't be listening in on this conversation, walked over to where Beato was loitering by the window. Hey, rich person. If you got too much gold on your hands, I'd be happy to lighten the load.
Gold would be more useful if you turned it into firewood and used it to cook a stew.
What's the matter? You're looking a bit bored.
So, this day has finally come. I do feel a bit lonely.
You do?
My magic revived the Ushiomiya family and created Rokkenjima. And now it seems the Ushiomiya family no longer has any need for the power of my gold. It has taken flight, leaving the nest of my magic behind.
True. That's how it turned out.
I have called Rokkenjima the Witch's Island. My island.
Yeah?
And now, Rokkenjima's returning the gold to me. The day has come for Rokkenjima to awaken from my magic.
That's true.
I knew that this would be the last game. However, now that we have reached this point, even in a manner such as this, It's surprisingly painful.
You're the type of person who looks totally carefree, but who's actually full of lingering attachments and regrets.
The cruel and obstinate ones are usually the quickest to grow attached. And then to feel lonely.
That's right. That's the kind of person you are.
It was a game for you and me.
It was fun. A great game you polished to perfection during those 6 years.
I once likened it to eternal torture for the both of us.
Eternity is happiest when you can still believe that it's eternal. But all things must end. And we have to be aware of that.
So, we must not avert our eyes.
Just as the sun always rises, there's no sun that doesn't set. Of course, Ange didn't have the slightest idea what her brother and the witch were talking about. However, even as young as she was, she could feel that the pair had spent an incredibly long time together. And that they understood each other so well that they might as well be a married couple. Well. Then, Beato noticed her reaction.
Ange. At one point, the two of us wove games for each other. However, that time is now over. This game has been made not for our sake, but for yours.
They were speaking in riddles again. Grasping the key that hung by her chest, Ange looked at her brother's face. We need to show you the contents of the cat box of this day. That key I gave you is for opening it.
What do you mean by cat box?
He means this day.
With the miracle of magic, I've brought you to the day you wanted to reach so much. You must continue telling the story of this day as the final witch.
Does that mean that I mustn't remain here?
Ange's tone was slightly tense. She understood what her brother meant, and it made her frown.
Just how long have I suffered, wishing that I could return to the Rokkenjima of 1986? And now I've finally made it here. So why are you chasing me out? You said I could decide for myself.
That's right. I did say that.
I'm not leaving. And please stop trying to spoil me with this strange made-up game. I want to know the truth of this day.
She's a moody girl, be it 12 years in the future or in the past.
Shut up! I didn't ask you. And what the hell do you think you're doing here? Didn't the Golden Witch come over here to perform a resurrection ceremony? Didn't you appear on the island with a crash of thunder and try to offer up 13 people as sacrifices? Why are you acting so happy and casual? It doesn't make sense!
You're the one that doesn't make sense. What are you thinking? Do you want me to be a murderer?
You wrote it down in a tale, sealed it in a message bottle, and threw it into the sea. 2 of those were discovered later on. Both of them were stories of cruel serial murders.
What a shame that only 2 of them made it to shore. How sad that land, my greatest masterpiece, was never seen by human eyes.
I've been wanting to ask this for a while, but what's up with those message bottles?
Oh, do they tell you outright? As I was working out the details for my game against you, I began creating those tales along the way. Once I realized that I could create endless different tales out of the same game board, it really started to get fun.
So, you wrote them down, hoping that I'd read them someday.
Precisely. They were so good, I just couldn't bear to wait for your return. Inspired by Agatha Christie, I tried sealing them in bottles and throwing them into the ocean. Mysterious, don't you think?
Don't mock me! Those were your plans for the crime! You used the location of the hidden gold to fan up discontent between the family members as you planned your brutal serial murders!
Sheesh, is that what I've become in the year 1998? Well, I guess I can't blame them.
Huh? What's with the sudden change of character? Is this some scheme to make me let my guard down? I'm not gonna be fooled so easily, Beatrice! Oni-chan, you wanna make me surrender and say the witches exist, don't you? You think I'll fall for that? I'll find the truth without your help!
Even though that truth is all around you right now. You once called yourself Gretel, but it seems the name Maito might be more fitting.
Enough!
Ange tried to slap Beato's cheek. However, the difference between their heights was so great that Beato dodged before the hand could reach her.
Stupid. Stupid. I won't accept it. I'll never acknowledge this farce as the truth.
After Ange yelled those words, her eyes grew cloudy. They cleared up almost immediately. By that time, she had already gone back to her 6-year-old self.
You're right, Ange. This is the sin I left behind. And the reason for this final tale's existence.
Huh?
As Ange stared blankly, uncomprehending, Beato gently patted her head.
Indeed. This tale is a farce. Of course, it isn't the truth. However, there's something that he feels he must tell you. Something he's so determined to convey that he went to such lengths.
Beato, I'm already showing her. I don't want to force it on her.
I see.
I don't understand what you're saying. I'm sleepy.
True. We should probably go take a nap.
Kinzo, must I remain here longer?
My apologies, but I must ask you stay for just a bit. Moving on, Kraus. The continued support of the Fukuin house should be viewed as your responsibility as the Ushiromiya family head.
What a pain. Forgive me, Battler. It seems I cannot go with you. Genji, would you mind taking these two to the guest house?
What are we gonna do without the secretary? As you wish. Battler-sama, Ange-sama, please follow me. Thanks. See you later, Beato.
Of course. I have a mountain of things I wish to discuss with you, and I'd like to have some time alone tonight.
Ooh.
We must act the part of a married couple every now and then.
Oh, she did actually mean it that way. Dang, she did. But what do you mean, act the part of a married couple?
Eyes
Sex!
out of head, tongue rolls on the floor.
They're gonna have hot and steamy. No, I can't.
Very good! Very good!
Me on the other side of the wall with my ear pressed up against.
One more!
One more!
Oh, yes! Very good!
Thanks, Erica Furudo.
Oh. Kind of sad she didn't get to stick around.
Right? Anyway.
Because Ange had gotten so bored, she had grown very sleepy. It would probably be best for her to take a quick nap. Battler walked through the windy rose garden, pulling her by the hand. When he questioned their guide, Genji, he learned that the old servant had known beforehand of Kinzo's desire to return the gold to Beato. and settle the inheritance problem early. The Master decided to start preparations early for his final task in this world, the ending of his life. Most people don't think much about what happens after they die. Guess grandfather just lives on a whole different scale. Today marks the start of a new flight, when the Ushiromiya family will depart from the Golden Witch's patronage. That's true. That's a pretty cool way to say it. Apparently, a grand Halloween party was to be held tonight, and Goda and the others had been ordered to start getting ready for it. However, it wouldn't just be a party. It would be a ceremony to mark the return of Beatrice's gold. At the start of dinner, grandfather would make the announcement, and the 3 generations of Beatrices would be thanked for their gift to the family with a round of applause. Apparently, this was what they had planned. Are we still keeping this a secret from Dad and the others? Technically, it is a secret. However, the Master did not suddenly begin thinking in this way today. He has considered this day many times over many years, and has even discussed certain matters with his children. I doubt that any will be surprised to hear this night's announcement. Excuse me.
What's wrong, Butler?
Apparently, my old bastard's been running all over the place trying to get money for his company. I guess he'll be dancing around when he hears grandfather's giving him his part of the inheritance early. A nice present for him. I rather think the great responsibility is what will spur him on. Ever since Rudolph Summer left the island, he has succeeded splendidly. However, his success so far has been supported by the Master's wealth. And now that he's suddenly getting his inheritance money, he'll have to keep going by his own strength alone in the future. That's some nice pressure for him. The siblings must have suffered for decades because of their father's excess of success and ability. Simply having a parent who is too successful can be a great burden to a child. And tonight, they'll be leaving the nest, truly becoming adults for the first time. It seems the Master plans to call this night a gold returning ceremony. However, he originally intended to call it a living funeral. Dang, that's morbid. Yeah. Sounds pretty depressing, having a funeral while you're still alive. I'll admit that calling it a day to start a new journey and leave the nest fits the Ushiromiya family much better.
I don't know. I don't know if it's not a bad idea, honestly.
Oni-chan, I'm sleepy.
Look, we're almost to the guest house. Do you want to go to Mom's room? Or to the cousin room?
I don't care. I'll sleep until dinner.
Dang. Ange, still holding her brother's hand, crouched down and looked as though she was about to fall asleep. Give me 1 second, I accidentally pressed a button. I just need to make sure. I pressed my right alt. I need to make sure that wasn't a hotkey for anything.
That didn't kill something yet.
Okay. Battler lifted her up and carried her. As she felt the warmth and safety of her brother's back, Ange drifted off into sleep. Oh? We're in the middle world? What happened that day? Just what on earth happened on October 4th and 5th, 1986? Because of the massive size of the Rokkenjima explosion accident, the time of the explosion was known almost exactly, down to the minute. That time was October 5th, midnight. The sheer improbability of that round number proved that the accident had been produced by artificial means. Well, that doesn't prove it. That just... It just makes it highly probable, but...
Proof!
Later on, The following statements were collected from individuals who knew Ushiromiya Kinzo when he was alive. During his lifetime, Ushiromiya Kinzo built a clock rigged to blow up the island at exactly 2400. Dang, people just knew that? People...
Hey man, he told me some things.
Yeah.
That was on the lighter end. I didn't share the worst to the public.
This clock was apparently inside his secret study. When he felt mentally cornered and wanted to think up a brilliant plan, he would activate the device and use the tension of the approaching midnight to bring some flash of inspiration to him. While Ushiromiya Kinzo still lived, this was only thought of as a tall tale about this eccentric man. But the fact that the Rokkenjima explosion accident occurred at exactly midnight supported the story.
It sounds crazy.
Oh, this is old out here.
True.
Was this me or you? It was you.
This was
wasn't it?
me. I have no idea what voice I gave him. It's been so long. I think I remember vaguely. Let's see what we can do here.
He must have hoped to gain some sort of mystical power from those short periods of madness. If we call this his source of high output mental power, the story isn't that difficult to swallow.
It's the source of his magic. Professor Otsuki spoke passionately. Witch hunters. Enthusiasts who treat the mad fantasy surrounding Rokkenjima as their plaything. Ange had no reason to love these people, who embellished the deaths of her family just for the fun of it. How ironic it was to Ange, who wanted to know what happened that day. That such people knew more about that island than anyone else.
If someone used that device, the island would be blown away without a trace. There would be nothing left. No matter what had happened there, they could erase it.
Theories that Ushiromiya Eva was the ringleader of some conspiracy sprang up very early on. However, no one was able to explain how she set off such a massive explosion.
Tiny bombs. Rigged throughout the entire island.
Tiny big bomb.
tiny big bombs. Tiny nuclear bombs.
And the rigged clock proves that such a thing was possible.
Correct. We can theorize that Ushiromiya Eva, fully aware of the timing and expected radius of the explosion, took refuge in Kuwadorian.
It's almost as if someone told her.
To get all the family wealth to herself, she killed everyone and used the explosion to remove all evidence.
That idea provides the most logical explanation for the Rokkenjima mystery. It also conforms with the fact that Eva never spoke to anyone about the events of that day.
Where was that rigged clock? And how did Eva find it? Several forgeries have speculated on this matter.
Fridge.
There's no need for me to waste my time thinking about it.
Fridge? What?
That's where the clock was.
Oh.
Eva activated the clock device, hid in Kuwadorian to escape the blast, and was therefore the only one to survive. That was everything. The answer, which eloquently told the whole story.
But it's not.
When Eva first adopted me, our relationship wasn't that bad at all. I asked her several times, what happened that day? Every single time she answered, it was to say that she didn't remember.
She didn't want to let you know that your parents were horrible people
Yeah.
who killed the rest of your family.
And what Kyrie said, just in general.
Yup.
But, well, she must have been flustered at the time. The very first time I asked, she answered like this.
Oh. I can't tell you about it.
It was a slip of the tongue. She knew what had happened that day, and she left this world without telling even a bit of the truth. She sealed the truth in a cat box and left this world, taking the key with her. There can be only one answer. She was behind everything. She got to keep all of the family wealth to herself and became super rich. And afterward, she lamented the fact that her beloved son would never inherit any of what she had created, and she cursed me. Just remembering that old bitch makes me want to vomit. What happened that day? That's what I want to know. It's my goal. The one reason I'm still alive. However, later on, I had to come to grips with the fact that my goal was an abstract one. After all, though I don't know what happened that day, it's a question of who. If it's a question of who did the crime, that's already clear. Ushiromiya Eva. She's the culprit. That has never changed since the beginning. That's right. I'm not trying to find out what happened that day. I'm trying to find out what Ushiromiya Eva did that day. If I can reveal that, then I can expose Eva's evil, even though she's already dead. That is my true goal. The police also suspected that the accident might be a crime, and they did investigate. However, no matter how much they inspected the crater that had once been Rokkenjima, they didn't find anything at all. The public and the witch hunters cornered Eva with several bits of circumstantial evidence, but not a single bit of physical evidence was found. Though Eva was only the merest fraction of a shade away from guilty, they were unable to expose her crime. My goal isn't anything as vague as learning what happened that day. It's to expose the crime Ushiromiya Eva committed on that day, and to have my revenge. I haven't been able to expose Ushiromiya Eva's crime, so people are acting as though the events on the island were all done by some bizarre golden witch. Defeating the golden witch means exposing Ushiromiya Eva's sin. I won't forgive Ushiromiya Eva. I'll certainly hate her and take revenge for my family. That is Ushiromiya Ange's one and only reason for living.
Sorry, that caught me off
Yeah.
guard. If she knew you hated her that much, the president would probably be rolling around laughing in the next world.
Shut up. I'll expose that old bitch's crime. I won't accept that it was a perfect crime, with traces all blown away. I'll never do that.
In other words, this journey of yours is a journey to take revenge for your family.
Got a problem with that?
You must be joking. It's great to know that you have a purpose in life.
Could you turn that off?
Oh, you don't like Imzaki?
That's the actual composer for that song, by the way.
Ha! That's funny.
Also, I really want... You know that really popular TikTok that took off a while ago of the dancing dragon from How to Train Your Dragon, Toothless? I want that. I don't know who, but just a 3D model of one Umineko character doing that dance to that song.
Amakusa.
Probably.
Amakusa turned the radio off. Welcome back, Amakusa, by the way. The dull sound of the engine became the BGM that filled the car.
Is it really so strange? Fighting for revenge?
Not really. Out on the front, I met people who live for that reason over and over.
You've been on battlefields many times as a mercenary, right?
Well, I've seen a few. How old is Amakusa again? Is he like roughly the same age as Ange? Probably a little bit older? Probably like early 20s?
Can't remember.
I'm just trying to think of, like, considering this is 1998, what he would have participated in as a mercenary. Like, what he could have participated in as a mercenary. Realistically, with his age. The immediate thing I think of is Chechnya.
He was born April 1st. That's really funny.
Dang!
But we don't know what year.
I'm assuming he's a couple years older than Ange, so I'm assuming he's like 21 to 25-ish, somewhere about there.
Let's see. He was a young adult by 1983.
Oh, maybe he's in his late 20s then. Might even be in his 30s. If they're considering young adult 18 at the lowest, 1983 to 1999 is 15 years.
Some Redditor estimated he'd be 33 at least.
That's what I was about to say, is that math makes it 33 at the minimum. Dang, he's older than I thought he was. Okay.
He's just got that youthful
Youthful
persona.
vigor about him. So he very well could have fought in Chechnya.
Yeah.
And like, well, actually, yeah, no, just the Gulf War, because we haven't done Desert Storm and that stuff yet. So he could have been all over the place.
It's true.
Probably some African proxy wars in there too, and some South American stuff.
He fought Chicago.
Dang. Well, I've seen a few.
So, are people who fight to take revenge for their families strong?
No doubt about it. Some people even strap bombs to themselves and commit suicide to take revenge for their families. Okay, he definitely was in, like, the Gulf War.
You don't know that. No, I'm kidding.
Well, actually, Chechnya was a jihad too, so it could... Humans are more than capable of dying for vengeance.
That's right. I could do it too.
Have you heard of child soldiers?
You mean kids who fight like soldiers?
That's it. Kids who've lost their parents and have nowhere to go sometimes get picked up by groups of armed insurgents to become soldiers. They get a gun thrust in their hands, and they're taught how to take revenge. But in the end, children are expendable. Anyone can be a soldier in a battlefield if they can pull a trigger.
Are you trying to say that I'm like that?
Revenge can be a reason for living. It can also give you the strength to become a soldier. Like a miracle, it can turn a girl who couldn't do nothing but sob over her parents' corpses into a soldier. Almost overnight. Nothing gives you more power than revenge.
I guess so. And that's what I'm like.
Do you know about the child soldier problem?
No.
Child soldiers who are given guns and taught how to take revenge make that their reason for living. Well, that's not exactly right. It becomes their reason for firing their guns. But revenge is something that never ends. At some point, they no longer have any reason to keep shooting.
What do you mean?
They once shot for revenge, but eventually, they keep on shooting for no reason at all.
You mean that they forget about taking revenge?
When revenge is impossible, they eventually get tired of it and forget their original goals. When that happens, they have nothing except their guns. Eventually, they'll keep shooting just so they can eat.
You're saying that child soldiers who started using guns for revenge end up as bandits or something?
After all, they've never even gone to school, and they haven't been taught any useful skills as far as employment goes. They only learned how to shoot guns, and they were only ever praised when they killed the enemy. Eventually, your reason for living stops being revenge, and becomes the means you once used to take revenge. It's sad, really.
Are you saying that I'll eventually get tired of revenge and... what would it be in my case?
You'll get tired of exposing the truth, and you'll eventually become a person who can do nothing but hate Ushiromiya Eva.
Well, that's true already. Got a problem with it?
Yeah! Come to think of it, that's right.
I'm not sure what Amakusa is trying to say. Probably something annoying. So I'm not interested.
Ange. Come on, Ange.
Nope. Mm-mm.
Revenge is pointless. Is that what you're trying to say?
You still have a long life ahead of you, lady. With your youth, you could do anything. I get the feeling that this journey might be a waste of that precious youth. Well, I don't think it takes that long, honestly. Like,
It's none of your business. I've already jumped once, remember? off that huge skyscraper.
And you only barely made it out of that alive.
Back then, I died. So I'm already a ghost. And my only purpose is to expose the truth of that day, to take revenge on my family's enemy.
Sheesh. That's an iron will you got there, lady.
There's no way a flippant man like you could understand how I feel.
Someone wants you to go, Amakusa. They keep honking.
He ain't doing it.
After that, Amakusa was forced to shut his mouth. He shrugged, but Ange didn't see. Even so, Amakusa spoke once more. On the first day we started this journey, you said something. You said you wanted to know what happened on that island that day.
It's the same now. What's changed?
Now, you're saying that you want to know what happened on that island that day, so you can expose Ushiromiya Eva's crime.
And isn't that exactly the same?
Well, that's true, but...
I'm tired. Let's fall asleep now. Would you mind staying quiet for a bit? Tell me when we get there.
Roger that.
I wasn't particularly tired, really. I just said that because I didn't like talking about this.
Don't become one. A child soldier. Ange, who had decided to feign sleep, ignored him. But Amakusa kept talking. That's funny. He wanted to make sure she heard at least this much. You started on a journey to learn the truth. It's becoming more and more of a journey of revenge. A journey to have revenge by exposing the truth. But as you know, there's nothing left on Rokkenjima. There aren't even any traces left. Exposing the truth might not be a picnic.
I know what Amakusa's trying to say. The police searched the scene so thoroughly just after the crime, and even they weren't able to find any physical evidence proving that Ushiromiya Eva was the culprit. And a full 12 years have passed since then. If the truth could be discovered by a girl like me, waving wads of cash around to pick up a bit of info from those who were somehow related to the incident, then someone would have exposed the truth long ago. I might not be able to reach the truth. If so, then my first desire, my desire to expose the truth, will probably fade away. After that, only my hatred for Eva will remain. Just like those child soldiers who forget their original purpose and live just to shoot. I'll forget my original purpose and live just to hate. I'll do nothing but despise Ushiromiya Eva, but my goal, exposing the truth for revenge, will be gone. So hating Ushiromiya Eva will become my whole life. Is there any difference between shooting for revenge and shooting to live? When you pull the trigger, someone dies either way. And what about my case? Is there any difference between hating Eva as I expose the truth and hating Eva after I've given up? There's no difference. In the end, whether I find the truth or not, I'll just keep on cursing Eva over and over until I die. What a crappy life. But now, that's all I have left.
Someone taught you, Ange, that you can make more out of a crappy life.
Burn Castell.
Ushiromiya Eva stole my family, so I'll take revenge by exposing her crimes and showing the world. My consciousness was slowly drifting away into sleep. Why is Oni-chan showing me such a bizarre Rokkenjima? Is this supposed to be the truth? Enough with this farce. Why is even Oni-chan trying to hide the truth from me? I'm trying to find it so that I can avenge him and the others. Or would Oni-chan say the same thing as Amakusa? That revenge is meaningless, so I should stop. Is that why he's speaking in riddles? Trying to make everything more confusing?
No, that's just kind of how they operate.
Mhm.
Him and his girlfriend.
That's what they do.
That's none of his business. I'm not trying to just take revenge for their sakes. I'm doing it for my sake, too. After all, that's the only reason I'm still alive. Taking revenge is my reason to live. I don't have a clue what Oni-chan is thinking.
Short chapter.
Umineko no Naku Koro ni. Chiru. Nocturne of Truth and Illusions.
I looked up, apparently there's some sort of play on words with the fact that the na is also red, but I didn't pay attention.
Not Chiru.
Yeah. Sodium.
Umineko no Naku Koro ni Chiru. Sorry, I was doing a Full Metal Alchemist bit.
Oh, I didn't. Umineko no sodium.
Outside, the rain had started pouring down hard. However, inside the cousin room, it was loud and cheery. It could have been raining spears, and no one would have paid any attention, except Hideyoshi.
Guys!
Hey! Full house! Take that!
Whoa. You weren't bluffing.
The cousins were all bursting with energy, sitting in a circle on the bed.
And I thought Battler always had crap in his hands every time he acted tough.
Of course, I've been losing all this time just to make you think that. Ushiromi Battler, the man who loses strategically to win in the end.
What do they call that? Sandbagging, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, Battler's incredible! All my coins have disappeared again! I'll give you some of mine. Let's crush Battler together, okay?
With just a deck of cards, the cousins could enjoy themselves for hours and hours. They were so engrossed that the occasional thunderbolt hardly even registered as static in the background.
Sorry, I just saw a word I'd never seen before. I'm gonna hold on
What?
to that. Okay. It's in my list of music. I was reading like what's gonna happen this episode, and then I saw a word and I was like, oh. So I got that on standby. Anyway. I'm starting to get hungry. I wonder if dinner's ready yet.
Who knows? It should be ready soon. Goda-san and the others really went all out for tonight.
Oh, I've got a tickle in my throat. Which means we got a lot to look forward to. Is this to celebrate my long-awaited return?
I heard from Shannon just now that it's going to be a Halloween party. They'll set up a buffet in the hall. Sounds incredible.
I'm still thinking about what it originally was going to be, and I just can't get over the image of like everyone sitting down for dinner and Kenzo being like, "We're gathered here to celebrate my death."
True. Somebody say some good words about me.
Yeah.
You know,
Everyone gets to take their turn saying what they love about me most.
it's funny, but that actually was a bit in Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Dang.
Because that's all about celebrities.
Yeah.
And one of them, I don't remember who, because it's an old show now. One of them was having a memorial service for themselves before they died. The funniest part was they were like in their 40s or 50s when they did it.
Dang.
They just wanted to see who would show up if they had a funeral.
That's when you fake your own death. You don't make it. You don't tell
Exactly.
everyone, "Hey, it's a fake funeral," because then people are gonna be like, "No, I'm not coming to a fake funeral."
Exactly.
A Halloween party? Incredible, incredible! Ooh! Yeah, who is it?
That was a hefty knock, Ange. That was. There was a knock at the door. The door opened, and Ange was there. She had been sleeping in her parents' room. Hey, Ange. So you woke up.
They said it's time for dinner, so we have to go to the mansion. They said to get ready.
Which one is this now?
Mm-mm.
They've been ping-ponging.
They have been.
Ooh, ooh, ooh. Food! I'm hungry.
Perhaps because she was the hungriest, Maria celebrated more vigorously than anyone else.
So I know that the narrator isn't obviously speaking in red, but we're kind of, for the most part, the narrator of Umineko has been not unreliable, like this narrator.
Yeah, mostly, yeah.
I love the fact that this confirms Maria was in fact the hungriest.
The
No
hungriest.
doubt about it.
The
No argument.
She's
was.
the hungriest. She jumped up happily and hopped off the bed. As the others all clambered off the bed and started putting their shoes on, Kyrie and Rudolph came into view.
Hey, brats. Time for food, so get ready.
It looks like today will be extra special. I can't wait to see it. Ooh, I know! It's a Halloween party! A Halloween party? I know, and Ange doesn't.
Dang.
Mom, what's a Halloween party? Who knows? We'll have to go and see for ourselves.
Everyone ready? It's about time to go.
Is everyone here? Please follow me. Maria, over here. Your collar's crooked. Oh, I'm starving. The food is the best part of these family conferences. Are you starving too, Ange-chan?
Ange bites her finger off. Okay. Hang.
Yeah, true. Rabid dog.
Ava smiled at Ange. I bet we're about to find out which Ange it is right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm starving. Ange, that's I'm hungry, right?
But don't worry about it. Yeah, I'll bet you're starving. My stomach's rumbling too.
I think it's still 6-year-old Ange. I think.
Probably.
She was very amicable.
Yeah. Okay, let's get out of here. Looks like the wind's blowing hard outside. Make sure you don't lose your umbrellas. Everyone, please take an umbrella. Here's your umbrella, Ange-chan.
Thanks, Aunt Ava.
Aw, girls really are so cute. Come over to play at your aunt's house one of these days. It's a promise, okay?
That hurts. that hurts in like a sad way.
Yeah.
They could have actually had a nice relationship.
We're just getting started with the pain train, buddy.
It looks like Aunt Ava's taking a liking to Ange.
Yep. Apparently Mother really wanted a daughter.
I've heard that too. I think she adored me too when I was little. My mama said she really wanted a son.
Dang.
Yeah. That's
I'm so sorry, Maria.
the only thing she could have said that would have been worse would have been my mama said I was an accident.
Yeah.
Or
My
something
mama
to
said
that
she
effect.
didn't want any kids.
Yeah. Crazy.
Oh.
Oh. Yep, just move right on that
Yep.
one. Let's.
If your kid grows up happily, it doesn't matter if they're a boy or a girl. Maria is my precious, precious gift from God.
When they got outside, the wind was fairly strong. Ava, who had really hit it off with Ange, offered to share an umbrella with the little girl. It was hard to tell what they were chatting so excitedly about, but they seemed to be getting along splendidly already. Battler opened his umbrella as he watched this. His little sister was cute when she clung to him, but she was just as cute and adorable when looking up at someone else with a happy smile. The wind and rain were strong, but even this must have been the perfect spice to heighten their anticipation of the coming meal.
Yippee.
Dang.
What?
I didn't expect them to change the background for it.
You don't like the pumpkins?
Oh.
I like
Thanks
the
to some
pumpkin.
festive decorations, the main hall had been remade into the scene of a Halloween party. Very Lambda Delta.
Yeah.
The Ushiromiya family always took meals in the dining hall. This was the... Oh, I'm Ange.
This was the first time I'd ever seen a buffet-style party set up in the main hall.
I'm looking at the food. Give me a second.
She's wearing the dress again.
What's that pink thing over there?
The... Which ones? The, like, little... The small ones under the sandwiches or the ones on the rack?
Balls.
The balls? I'm assuming they're probably some kind of, like bun. Because you know the Japanese, they like their buns.
Yeah. Okay, we'll see. We'll see. I don't know.
I don't know if we will see, actually. I don't
No, we're not gonna see.
Yo, battler. Hey, Maria. Long time no see. Beato! Happy Halloween! Trick or treat! I have some candy for you, but now is not the time. After all, it's just before a meal. Thank you, Beatrice-san. I see you're looking as beautiful as ever. You too, Rosa. You certainly don't look old enough to be a mother.
Have you been drinking? Your ears are looking pretty red there.
Well, after you left, Kenzo said he'd bought this rare drink, so I couldn't help but sample a bit.
And this, coming from a person who tells little kids not to eat candy before a meal.
Pardon me, Beatrice-sama, the master is calling for you.
Am I Ange? I think I'm Ange still.
Probably.
I saw Kenzo beckoning from over by the portrait.
Good grief. When it comes to ceremonies, that man is always so obsessed with form.
It's probably about that ceremony for the gold's return. This is a huge turning point for the Ushiromiya family. You better go and play along.
It does make one feel a bit lonely.
This won't change the fact that you're the Ushiromiya family alchemist.
Perhaps. Then I'll be back shortly. See you later, okay? According to Genji, today's party has a bit of a theme to it. You'd better look forward to it.
You make it sound like you did any of the work.
You're another one who obsesses too much over details. Later!
Oni-chan, is something going to happen today? Is it a special day?
It looked as though even Ange had picked up on that much. She seemed to be getting tense for no reason. This is a special day for the Ushiromiya family, but it doesn't have anything to do with you personally, so you should just relax, except that's not true at all. This entire thing is for you personally.
Okay, that's right. Hey, did you know? I just heard a huge secret from Aunt Ava. Even Maria Oni-chan doesn't know, but I'll tell you.
Oh gosh.
Oh? So what's this secret?
Okay. I heard that if you get an almond in yours, you win.
Win? Is this like a lottery or something?
Anyway, if you get an almond, you win.
Ange puffed out her cheeks. Apparently, she wanted to be praised for sharing this exciting secret. But just knowing that almonds win doesn't really explain much.
Dang.
Okay, got it. Thanks for letting me in on that major secret.
You're mean, Oni-chan. And I even told you my secret.
Ange, her cheeks still puffed out, headed back to where Aunt Ava was. They really are getting along well. Well, I guess I have no problem if it's her aunt. If it was some guy from her class, I don't care if they're in elementary school. It's not happening. No
Kill
playing
that child!
No playing with the opposite sex without Oni-chan's approval. At that moment, Genji-san's voice rang out. The chatter gradually subsided, and the rain outside once again became apparent. Ladies and gentlemen, I ask for your silence. Silence filled the room. All of the relatives seemed vaguely aware that tonight's festivities consisted of more than a Halloween party. Battler already knew. This was a ceremony to mark the return of the gold from Kinzo to Beatrice, which had been borrowed for so many years. Now, that fact was being announced by Kinzo himself. He spoke of how this gold had not only restored the Ushiromiya family, but brought it to a level of wealth it had never before experienced. He spoke of how he would finally return this gold to Beatrice, the one who had saved the Ushiromiya family. Kinzo personally handed an ingot decorated with a bright red ribbon to Beatrice.
This is the debt we owe to 3 generations of Beatrice, the Golden Witch. The Ushiromiya family will never forget it.
Sheesh. If you've nowhere to put it, I'll be happy to take it off your hands.
Beatrice-sama. It was hard to imagine Beato, of all people, getting admonished by Genji. I couldn't help but laugh.
I am Beatrice, the Ushiromiya family alchemist. Tonight I acknowledge the end of the loan contract for the 10 tons of gold. Now, several decades following my grandmother's generation, the time has come for the eagle that lost one wing to fly once more. I will watch over that eagle, and I pray for its prosperity in all generations to come.
Congratulations! Applause filled the hall. Though she'd managed to make such a dignified speech for once, as soon as it was over, she stuck her tongue out and leered at us. I guess that's about the limit to how long Beato can stay serious.
By passing her name on through the generations, Beatrice, the Golden Witch, may live for thousands of years. Therefore, even her descendants shall be Beatrice, and all shall be alchemists to this family. The descendants of the Ushiromiya family will praise Beatrice for her gratitude forevermore, and this will be passed on through the generations. This family will always be indebted to Beatrice, and she will always be our family, tied by a noble bond.
Let those who acknowledge this show their recognition with their applause.
Yippee! Yippee! Yay! Yippee!
Hey, they didn't show Goda.
Of course they didn't.
Kill him! Ketnak! After Genji's words, the relatives all looked at each other, then started applauding at once.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Beatrice, you are a member of the Ushiromiya family, and that is a bond more sacred than one of blood.
Of course, lending money is more important than being a blood relation.
Beatrice-sama. After that, Kinzo's long-winded speech continued. Tonight, Kinzo, who would retire as the Ushiromiya family head. Not who, sorry. Kinzo would retire as the Ushiromiya family head. Then he announced that he would reveal the distribution of his inheritance. Maria gets everything. A stir of excitement spread across the siblings in money trouble when they heard that they wouldn't have to wait for Kinzo's death to get their shares.
I am aware that each of you is in trouble with money. This should be enough to resolve all of those problems. But do not grow complacent. This is my inheritance, given to you before my death. In the past, though I have been strict, I have always watched over you. However, beginning tonight, your father will cease to provide support of that kind. I shall watch on as you take flight, as though watching down upon you from the heavens. No longer will I interfere. You may live however you please. Dad.
Father. We understand. We will certainly take flight on our own.
Here and now, all of us siblings swear to work together to make the Ushiromiya family even more prosperous.
That's right. If we stick together, nothing can stand in our way.
Hideyoshi laughed, but Genji admonished him.
That's so funny.
However, he could understand why they were so happy. So far, the siblings had quarreled ruthlessly over the inheritance. However, this evening, the inheritance had been neatly split apart, and they'd no longer had any need to scheme for money. In other words, the siblings no longer had any reason to squabble with each other anymore. On the contrary, this was a time for them to join hands and help each other become more and more prosperous. Ava and Rosa were sniffling with tears in their eyes. And so was Rudolph. Perhaps now, despite their ages, they had finally left the nest for real. Tonight, the eagles of the Ushiromiya family would leave Rokkenjima, the nest weaved from the witch's magic, and go their separate ways, with their own power and determination. It made Kenzo think, if only I had done this from the start. If he had settled the inheritance problem himself, there would have been no need for his children to quarrel at all. Instead, he had acted in a sullen manner and left the problem to them, which had resulted in their strained relationships. Yes, it was all his responsibility. And now, the intertwining bonds had been released. It was as though an invisible rope had been wrapped around Kinzo's body. That rope was now gone, and he felt a sense of release he hadn't experienced for many years.
Even Kenzo gets closure.
You get closure! You get closure! Everyone gets closure! The four siblings stepped forward, and before Kinzo, they swore to all support Kraus, the new head, and lead the family to greater prosperity. Their faces sparkled with an unexpected youthfulness. It was only natural. After all, none of the four had made such a natural-feeling promise since the time they were kids. As the vibrancy of their youth returned to them, the siblings made a promise once again. When Kraus finished his announcement, a friendly applause filled the hall. The cousins. And the servants, too. Oh, there's Goda. Joined in on the applause that continued on and on.
I'm telling you, man, Goda was a conscientious objector.
Ange watched this, dumbfounded. The four siblings were supposed to have quarreled with each other constantly since they were kids. And they were supposed to have pointlessly locked swords with Kinzo's inheritance as their goal, their worries over money spurring them on.
Thanks to this ceremony, even the world of truth, the world I acknowledge, has been rewritten. Were they actually friendly towards each other? Or did they quarrel all the time like I believe? It doesn't matter. Either way, right here, right now, all of those problems have been resolved. I mustn't believe. This is just Oni-chan's farce. Even though I knew that fact, When I watched Dad and the others hugging each other with teary smiles on their faces, I couldn't help but feel something warm welling up in my eyes. I won't believe. This is all Oni-chan's farce.
What will you have to see? What will you have to hear before you'll let yourself believe?
Red. If you say it with the red truth.
Is everything that can't be said in red a lie?
I won't believe. This is just...
Ange looked at the floor and fell silent. As the game master, Battler was able to use the red truth. However, that rule only exists on a witch's game board. In the world of humans, red truth doesn't exist. People see things, hear things, and when they believe that something is worth believing, they accept it as a red truth. And we're getting deep right now. Unless Ange accepts it, no kind of truth can become truth. Battler wanted her to realize this. This could be the truth, if Ange accepted it as the truth. There was no point in using the red truth, a rule of this game, to force the truth on her. Ange would have to use her own power, her own heart, to accept the truth as truth. The decision was Ange's. No one could force her to decide either way. So there was nothing wrong with Ange declaring this scene to be a farce. But if so, then what about the hot tears dripping down Ange's face? Ange would have to think that through herself, without anyone telling her. After one sniffle and a rub of her eyes, Ange let the 6-year-old version of herself take control of her peace. What followed was a harmonious, fun stretch of time. Beautifully adorned dishes were brought in one after another, and champagne corks were loosened with pleasant sounds. Several small tables were set here and there, each with its own theme. That was where the fun lay in this stand-up buffet party, as the guests wandered from table to table, pondering what they should eat first.
Pink.
The pink bun. This sort of performance was where Goda's genius shone through. The hotel that let him go should have regretted ever having done so. Of course, a stand-up buffet would probably be a tiring affair for the middle-aged, so chairs had been set up as well. However, each time a new dish was brought into the hall, they could get up to look, wandering through the tables however they pleased. This way, they could each bump into a new group of people, then mingle elsewhere when that group melted apart. People are interesting. As the members in each group changed, so did the topic of conversation. The bustling Halloween party played out like a colorful kaleidoscope. The origami chains decorating the walls brought back youthful memories. Those would help anyone enjoy themselves like they were kids again. Even to Ange, it was like a dream. She chatted happily with her cousins. She also chatted with her aunts and uncles. Beato showed her several tricks that she called magic. Maria said they were magic. Ange said that they were tricks, and the night grew even more lively. The two young girls were so fired up that the adults decided to show some tricks they knew, shocking both of the kids utterly. Eventually, they each started showing tricks to the others, asking if they'd ever seen this one or that one before. And it became a party of magic, just perfect for Halloween. In addition to magic tricks, several quizzes, riddles, and games popped up, reminding everyone of their childhood days. Even the servants who were serving food got dragged into the groups, and the whole hall was filled with chatter. To Ange, young as she was, every single magic trick, quiz, and riddle was an entirely new experience. They stimulated her intellectual curiosity, and she couldn't contain her excitement. Add in the wide variety of delicious foods and drinks she could choose from, and it was like being in a dream. Ange felt a floaty sensation, as though she was walking on a cloud.
Ange, did you drink some of this? This is Daddy's drink.
Dang.
I wanted to try some adult grape juice too, so it's okay.
Your face is looking a little red there. Are you feeling all right?
She only had a bit, so I think she'll be fine. I'll be fine. I'm not a kid. Yep.
Crazy. Ange-chan, drink this one, okay? That stuff your dad drinks is nasty, so don't try any more, got it?
Hands are whiskey.
That's what I was thinking.
That's right. If you drink bad stuff, you'll end up as a bad adult, too.
I'm not gonna be a bad adult. I'm gonna be a princess. That's right. Ange is our princess.
Yep. She's our family's princess. I agree. You better come over to my house to play sometime. We'll have lots of fun.
Okay. Thanks, Aunt Ava. Everyone's being really nice. It almost feels like I've become a real princess. I feel so great, I could almost believe that this whole celebration was being held for my sake.
Battler stood outside that group of people. As he watched Ange smiling happily from the distance, he smiled too.
When she smiles like that, she really lives up to her name. It's so sad.
I agree. It really is a smile fit for an angel.
I hope that smile comes from the real Ange. Not just the piece.
Even if it doesn't, she's watching this. And she can think it through herself.
This game between you and Ange really is overflowing with affection. So much that it's irritatingly slow for me.
And what's wrong with that? There's no one to get in her way. No obstacles or tactics or anything else to worry about.
That's right. This game is no longer a battle.
Now that you mention it, this is cleaning up. Cleaning up after our game.
I'll never be able to make up for the sin I did to her through my careless actions.
We have to take responsibility for our game. We'll make up for our sins together. That's why we're showing Ange this final game.
Do you think that Ange will be able to use that key the right way?
Of course. I've thought about forcibly dragging her in the direction we think is right.
Such an attempt would probably have been meaningless. When you're forced to make a decision, it's hard to accept that it was truly a correct one, no matter how much time passes.
Exactly. Ange has to think and choose for herself, even if she doesn't make the decision we view as the correct one. I think we should respect it.
You are the game master. I cannot argue with you anymore. I will simply watch on and enjoy this night.
This game is really significant for Ange. But for us, it's kind of like a party after the show. Thanks for playing Umineko no Naku Koro ni.
And this is all possible because of you. Okay.
It's almost time. But are you sure? Ange might get the wrong idea again, right?
It'll be fine. In fact, this is necessary. Just like how you appeared in the way you did. And everyone else, too.
Then let us enjoy this final celebration with the others. After all, All of them have acted their parts so well in this long game.
That instant, the sound of someone clapping for attention rang out. Your attention, everyone. Please gather. And now, for today's special event. Goda had been the one clapping. Everyone gathered together, wondering what was going on. On the serving cart in front of him was a large, sliced chocolate cake. As the highlight of tonight's Halloween party, I have prepared this charcuterie.
No.
Yeah, no?
No.
What is that?
I don't know how to pronounce it. That was the word that I was...
Sashatort? Sashatorte? Sashatort?
Soccer tort.
Soccer tort.
It's Austrian origin.
Okay. I was trying to think of it in like French terms, but that makes sense. It's German.
Yep. So, it's a chocolate cake. That's the basics.
I have prepared this soccer tort for you all. As you can see, it was made specially for the Ushiromiya family and bears the crest of the one-winged eagle in chocolate.
That's crazy.
The stupendous cake drew a gasp of admiration from all present. What a splendid cake! A perfect highlight for the party. Oh no, it's not just the cake. Tonight's cake has a little secret, tiny bombs, in the
True.
cake. Master, I ask that you explain that secret to everyone.
Very well. This is a bit of a game. One slice of this cake will be used to select the winner.
The almond!
It's got an almond in it.
Ange shouted happily. Kenzo looked at her and nodded.
In just one slice of this cake, there is a single almond. The one who chooses that piece shall become tonight's king.
Whew! It's been a long time since I played the king game.
I'm guessing the subject matter was a bit different when you played it.
Isn't that a game that, like, is routinely played by, like, high schoolers in Japan?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So, what happens to the person who becomes the king?
The king gets to name one wish. Then, we shall all try to grant it together.
Ooh, sounds interesting. Ooh, kings are boys. Girls can't be kings.
If a girl wins, they get to become the princess.
The almond, the one with the almond wins, right? Right?
Dang.
That's right. You're incredible, Ange.
In times like this, luck can tell you something about a man. Can't let myself lose now.
Hold up there. Let's let the smallest kids choose first.
A good idea. Ange-chan, you can go first.
Hey, you're the big cousin now, Maria. Let Ange-chan go first.
Ooh, but what if Ange wins? Ooh. I'm gonna win. The almond wins. The almond wins.
It seems we old fogies must hope that leftovers are lucky today.
I am imagining Ange's going to cartoonishly swallow the whole cake. We got a cake.
Yeah. We out of almonds.
Yeah.
If we're going by age, I guess that means Kinzo's last.
But weren't you 1,000 years old?
No!
Everyone burst out laughing. Her real age was unknown, but she claimed to be 19 years old. In front of Ange lay a large cake, split into several pieces. Just one of those pieces was the winner. Well then, Ange-sama, which piece would you like? Whichever you choose, it will be ever so delicious.
No way. I only want the winning one.
Dang. Well then, you'll have to try and guess the right one on the first shot. Go ahead, pick one. Battler pushed Ange's small back towards the table with the cake.
Which one? should I take?
How many slices would that be?
The chocolate
never
cake
mind.
was cut into 15 pieces. The guy's...
Oops.
I want to pick the one with the almond and become the princess.
Whoa! Didn't expect us to get a chocolate cake, CG.
Cake.
That is a good-looking cake.
Yeah. Alright, Goda. Fine.
You win this one. You.
Might not be a fraud.
One of them has an almond. Which could it be?
I get to choose first, but it sort of feels unfair. I mean, it is, isn't it? My chances of getting the right one are 1 in 15. There's no way I'll get it. And then, when Marione-chan goes after me, she has a 1 in 14 chance of picking the winner.
Unless you pick the winner.
True.
The next person has a 1 in 13 chance, then a 1 in 12 chance, and the last person will win for sure?
Yeah.
Oni-chan, this isn't fair! It's harder for the person who goes first!
Everyone laughed. Apparently, there was... Oh.
Apparently there was something wrong with my calculations, but I still didn't like it.
Then let us start this contest... Why can't I speak? Then let us start this contest of luck with Ange-sama. Please, feel free to make your selection.
Okay! If I have to pick one out of so many, there's no way I'll win. But for some reason, tonight, it feels like I might actually win after all. I have no reason for feeling this way, but when I'm in a good mood, Lady Luck always brings me fortune.
Have you decided yet?
Yeah, I've decided. This one's the winner. I concentrated on my fingertip and pointed at one of the 15 slices. The slice I chose was...
I have to pick!
You should probably save.
It's not letting me.
Ah!
Bro.
Well, pick, buddy.
Okay, actually, I'm touching everything on my keyboard right now, and it's not letting me move either.
You better pick one.
Sorry, I just unfull screened.
I was wondering what that was.
None of the numbers do anything. See, I want... Okay, I guess I picked that one.
This one!
This one? Are you sure?
I made up my mind. I want this one.
Is that an actual choice or no?
You want me to say?
Like, should I have been able to pick one that wasn't that?
I don't remember.
And also, let me just do an OBS check real quick, because I just pressed a bunch of buttons. OBS seems fine.
When he asked me whether I was sure, I felt a little uneasy. Still, at times like this, it's better to stick with your instincts. It was one of the few bits of philosophy...
Can't switch up on me like that. It was one of the few bits of philosophy that this young girl had learned from her few life experiences. Goda took the chosen slice, put it on a plate with a fork, and handed it to Ange.
I go next! Ooh, what should I take?
It was Maria's turn next. She was excited, determined to be the winner.
I walked away from that group all by myself. I was struck by a temptation to quickly cut the cake open and check for an almond inside. However, I stopped myself. If I check my piece first, my chance of winning is 1 in 15. However, if I wait for other people to check their slices, then when I see that they've lost, my chances will go up, if only slightly. In other words, instead of searching for the almond right away, my chance will go up if I wait for some other people to lose. But if someone picks a winner while I'm sitting around here, the chances of my slice being a winner will go to 0. It'll be tough to calculate the right moment. I just need to wait long enough for as many losers to show up as possible. My chances of winning are the highest if I check my piece immediately before someone wins. Yeah, that's the trick to winning this game. Huh?
Is it?
What a strange thought. It feels like I'm missing something. Even though no one else can touch the cake that's sitting in front of me. The almond inside it will appear or disappear depending on whether or not the other people win or lose. Huh? I was in such a good mood that I felt dizzy and I couldn't figure out what was wrong with my theory. But I did realize that something was strange. There's always just one truth inside a cat box. No matter what happens outside the box, it shouldn't be able to shake the truth inside. And yet, I'm being shaken about by events outside the cat box, trying to use those to change the way I observe the box's contents.
At this point, this should probably be over, Ange.
Yeah, probably.
I don't even know what I'm saying. Another me inside me is trying to say that, but it's too hard for me to understand. I feel like I'm drifting. I got so cheery and excited that even though I'm not sleepy, my mind feels hazy. Maybe it's because I drank Dad's adult drink. In the end, even though I chose the first piece, I decided to check it last. After I've seen that everyone else is lost, my chances of winning will be 100%. I tried to find the contradiction in my thinking, but I didn't really get it, so I stopped. It's much better to have a 100% chance than a 1 in 15 one, so I decided to bet on that. I couldn't wait to open this precious treasure chest, but I waited for everyone else to choose their pieces and check them. How's it going? Has anyone found a winner? Oh! Mine didn't have one! I lost too. Guess I'll have to give up on being the princess.
Even if you lose, this sakatort really is beautiful and delicious. It's such a good decoration, it's almost a shame to eat it.
How about you? Got the almond?
No, not me either. What about you, Hideyoshi-ne-san?
Oh, that's me.
Mine's a loser too. Looks like I used up all my luck with the company and my wife.
What exactly do you mean by that?
What do you mean by that? What about you, Dr. Nanjo? I'm checking it now. Games like this can truly be fun every now and then.
Indeed. Sometimes a simple test of luck, without any strategy or tactics, can be quite entertaining. What about you, Beato?
Who's the liar who said leftovers would be lucky?
Who said that? Was it Nanjo? Get him.
Yeah.
Get him. What about you, Ange? Was there an almond in yours?
I'm checking now.
Oh, you still haven't touched yours?
Me taking my slice of cake and just
Standing.
crushing it with my hand,
Yeah.
grabbing furiously. No almond!
I had been following my own personal probability theory, but I didn't think I could explain about to Oni-chan, so I didn't mention it to him. I wonder if there's an almond in here. If I win, I'll be tonight's princess. I'll be happy if I win, but even if I don't, it'll still be a really fun night, so that's okay. It got put on hold when this cake game started, but before then, everyone was having a lot of fun trading tricks, quizzes, and riddles. This game is fun too, but I want to play like that again soon. Huh?
What's up, Ange? Oh?
I lifted up that tiny thing with my fork and stared at it, then showed it to my brother.
I feel like it wasn't a real choice. If it was, it's crazy that I got it right.
No, it was not a real choice.
Okay. It highlighted the cake and everything, like I had the option to pick. And so I was confused.
Okay, well, to say it was not a real choice is disingenuous, but also the game master made it that any choice would lead to this result.
Okay. Okay.
This is an almond, right?
Whoa! Ange got it! That's awesome! At the same time, a stir rose up in the other corner of the room.
I got one! I won!
Oh, so Eva won.
My. Congratulations, Eva-sama.
That's wrong. I won. Mine has the almond.
Sorry.
I held the almond high and shouted across the room. The crowd around Ava split, and everyone stared at me, surprised. I was surprised, too. The thing in her hand was, without a doubt, an almond.
What the heck? What's going on here?
Goda. And there seem to be 2 almonds. So are they both winners? There seem to be 2 almonds. You're fired. No.
True.
But that shouldn't have... Does this mean that one of the 2 winners made a mistake?
Ange-sama's is clearly an almond. How about your end, Canon-kun?
Eva-sama's is clearly an almond.
Then it seems that they both win.
Master.
What an odd occurrence. What's all this, Goda?
Well, it seems we've had a little mistake. Perhaps they should do rock, paper...
Come now, don't be stingy. It just means the 2 almonds have appeared to signify the queen and the princess.
Precisely. Let's have them both be winners.
Oh, well, but... Goda was hesitant. Actually, he had prepared a single special dessert for the king. It had been decorated in a way that made it hard to split for 2 people, so it wasn't convenient for there to be 2 kings. When Eva heard Goda mumbling something to this effect, she shrugged and laughed.
In that case, let's have Ange-chan be the princess.
The princess? I'm the princess?
I'll be your attendant. That works, right?
Of course it worked. Ange had been worried that Eva would be declared the winner since she had spoken up first, so she hadn't even dreamed that Eva would give it up to her.
But are you sure? You won too.
It's okay. I get to be your attendant. Come, princess. What wish do you want granted? Let's hear it.
I've already chosen my wish.
Oh, and what is it? Won't you tell your aunt?
I want this fun time to keep on going. Forever. The young me spoke for the desire in my heart. Well, what we were doing before this was fun, so I'd like to keep doing it. I get the feeling that the nuance has changed. Still, that was unmistakably my wish.
What we were doing before this? Oh, you mean those tricks and quizzes?
Yeah!
Then let's do this. Listen up, everyone. This is an order from your princess. Remember how much fun we were having earlier? Let's all entertain Ange-chan with tricks and quizzes. New song, Stuffed Animal.
Hold up there. I've already used up all my magic tricks.
Then let's do quizzes and riddles.
So, we just need to entertain Ange-chan with quizzes?
We can all present quizzes for our princess to enjoy.
I see. Understood.
Yes, how intriguing. Then, Ange, let us do it this way. Everyone will give you a quiz or a riddle, and you can try to solve them. Each time you succeed, I will give you a medal.
A medal?
It probably means some sort of commemorative medallion. If you get a lot of puzzles right, you get a lot of medals. Okay, I know this one is actually a thing that I have to do because there's an achievement for it.
Huh?
There's an achievement to get all the medals.
Yeah.
Just gathering medals is a tad boring, don't you think?
Yes. Depending on the number of medals you collect, I shall give you a fantastic present. Well, do you suddenly feel fired up?
It sounds amazing. So there's even a prize.
Isn't that great, Ange? Yeah! Everyone gathered around me, smiling, as though they thought about what sort of puzzle they'd give. They're all thinking about me, so that they can play with me. Just the feel of having that all to myself almost made me explode with joy at becoming the princess.
Oh. Didn't think it was going to end there.
Yep.
Oh.
Silly little times.
I do...
Ready to keep going?
Well, I was going to talk about the cake for a second. I think the reason why it might not have let me is because my controller was plugged in.
Maybe.
And it might have wanted me to
will
input it
soon
via my
see.
controller. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see soon.
I'm okay to continue going, but we can also end it here if you want to. I don't care.
We can do some of these. I don't know if we'll do all of them. We can do some of these.
Well, do we want to do some, or do we want to save them all for a single stream? Because depending on how intuitive I have to be, I might sit for a minute.
I'll tell you what. The next whole chapter, technically, is just one question,
Okay.
one song.
Okay.
So let's do this, and it'll establish the,
The tone.
yeah.
Okay.
And also for your reference, I don't know if you're interested or not, I have the answers. I don't know if you want me to give them or if you just want to save scum. Or how you would like to do it.
Well, I'll try to solve it first, of my own accord.
Of course.
Yeah. I mean, you could just tell me if I'm not right.
Okay, that'll work. Because I was going to say, either way, it'll end up being the same result. It's just whether or not I speak or if you just reload.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, you could just tell me if I'm incorrect until either I do figure it out or I give up, and then you can just tell me the answer.
Okay, so let's try it.
I became the Halloween party princess, and the tournament of quizzes and riddles just for me began.
If you're watching at home as well, I'll give you the fair warning before I say it so you can either like mute or however you want to engage with it.
It looks like I get a medal for each puzzle I get right.
Is that the patented Rokkenjima Ushiromiya family crest Chuck E. Cheese coin?
5 Nights at Rokkenjima.
If
True.
I get a lot, I'm supposed to get a wonderful prize from Grandfather.
Oops, that was the wrong arrow.
Okay, here I go. Who should I start with?
I don't think it matters. Start with whomever you like.
Oh, do I have to choose that too?
I'm not sure. I'd better think up a killer puzzle while I have the chance. Maria, didn't you have a quiz book in your bag?
Oh, I do! I'm gonna give Ange a nasty one. Maria One-chan laughed with an evil smile. Looks like everyone's going to try and bully me. I'm sure they'll think up some really hard questions.
Don't worry, I'll lend a hand.
Really?
Of course. After all, I'm the princess's attendant. So let's give it our all together and get a huge pile of medals.
Okay!
Come now, Ange-sama. Start wherever you want. I, Goda, am ready to challenge you whenever you please.
Whoa, not so fast. The honor of the first audience with the princess belongs to me. Ange, begin with my challenge.
Okay. I suddenly got tense, and my stomach began to feel tight. Then, Deva gently held my hand.
It'll be okay. Let's do this together.
Oh, okay.
Then let us begin, Ange.
He just rattles off the epitaph. He just...
Yeah. This is a story about December 25th, Christmas Day.
Christmas? Even though it was October, he suddenly started talking about Christmas. Is he going to ask what day Christmas is? I know that. It's December 25th.
That's crazy. Where'd she learn that? Sorry, she's 6.
On Christmas Day, a woman looked up at the night sky and spoke.
Yeah, okay, I'm not gonna do that.
Eventually, the night will end and morning will come. Wouldn't it be wonderful if, after the sun sinks and it becomes night once more, it could be Christmas again? And then the man spoke. Okay, I'll make your dream come true for you. Is such a thing possible?
The day after Christmas is the 26th, a normal day. That's impossible.
Still, Christmas, even after the sun rises. Oh, I've got it.
It would be Christmas on the other side of the planet.
Huh? How? How can the day after Christmas be Christmas again?
Think about it for yourself, Ange.
Oh!
There you go. Now you should save. I think it'll let you again now.
Nope.
No, usually it lets you.
Oh god, that's so
that
loud.
was so loud.
Oh.
Alright, well, you'll just have to save after each puzzle then.
Yep. On Christmas
Alright,
Day, a
take
woman
your
looked up at the night sky and spoke. Eventually the night will end and morning will come. Wouldn't it be wonderful if after the sun sinks and it becomes night once more, it could be Christmas again? Then the man spoke. Okay, I'll make your dream come true for you. How is such a thing possible? Is such a thing possible? I think it's possible because I think the next... Because, yeah, if it's... I forget. Is Japan before us in day or after us? They're before us in day, right?
Yeah,
Like, if
they're
it's-
where the sun rises.
Yeah, if it's the 26th there... Wait. Yeah, if it's the 26th there, it would be the 25th here.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's what they're going for, but that's what I'm getting out of it. So I'm going to say, okay, is that right?
You want me to tell you?
Does it go any further than this? Because it just seems like answering it's possible or it's impossible is kind of like vague.
No, that's the only. That's it for this.
That's the
question.
only thing. Well, tell me if I'm right. I mean, it's a yes or no answer. So
So you want me to tell you?
yeah,
It's possible.
okay. God, that's so
That's
loud.
So loud.
Oh, I see. It is possible.
Yeah, that's right. After all, there are 2 nights in every day.
Right. December 25th starts at 12 o'clock midnight. Midnight is during the night, so that's the first night. Then morning comes, and when night falls again, it's still the same day until midnight.
Exactly. And both of those nights are nights on Christmas Day.
Okay, that's not what I was going for, but it's...
Am I awesome? Am I awesome?
With a delighted smile. Oh,
And Deva patted my head vigorously.
Well done, Ange. I tried to make it a hard question, but you solved it like it was nothing.
congratulations, Ange-sama. Here is a medal for getting the first question right. Okay, I'm gonna save before I forget
Yeah.
to. No, let me save.
Ah! It's over! It's over!
I'll overwrite one of these since
Okay, I was gonna say it's up to you.
Genji-san held out a gold-colored medal. Grandfather smiled at me, urging me to take it. Thank you!
Keep up the pace. Well, no. Now, that is all for my puzzle. Head over there and ask whomever you choose for a quiz.
It was a heavy gold-colored medal. If I got a lot of these right, my pocket might burst. I'm gonna get so many that I can brag about it to everyone. After bowing to Grandfather, I hurried off with Aunt Ava to where everyone else was gathered.
You got one medal.
You like that?
This is so much different than any other episode.
Yeah. It's giving Flash game.
It is giving Flash Game. Okay, I'm going to save now so that it's not a black screen like this one was so that I can differentiate.
Yeah.
There we go.
Am I crazy? I think I might be crazy.
What?
It kind of looked like some of the food had been eaten in the background CG, but I think I'm crazy.
I think
Never
you're
mind.
crazy. I don't.
Yeah.
Kenzo watched Ange go with a warm gaze.
Did I make it a bit too easy?
It's with the sad music. No. I think it was just right.
Genji, have I managed to act the part of a good grandpa?
Okay, that's what's with the sad music. Of course.
Ange is young, and she frequently grows sick and is unable to come to Rokkenjima. She probably won't remember me well.
Young children have their own kind of cruelty. They think of kindness as something they'll naturally receive. And because they think of kindness as only natural, they forget about it quickly. It is no different from gratitude to one's parents. It will probably take Ange-sama many years before she understands.
Do you think she will eventually remember that I was a fun grandpa?
Yes. I am certain of it. Kenzo's expression grew slightly darker. Eventually, Ange will get older, and she will probably hear how the public at large regards Ushiromiya Kenzo. The Ushiromiya Kenzo known by the public is completely different from the Kenzo who plays with his grandchildren. When she learns, will Ange remember the face of Kenzo the tyrant known by the world? Or that gently smiling face?
I would hope for her to remember my smile, if possible. But such a thing is probably too much to ask for.
There's no way around it. That's what children are.
Oh, it's you.
Children just eat up kindness, and it never remains in their memories. By the time 12 years have passed, she will surely learn what a bizarre, eccentric Ushiromiya Kenzo was. Your smile is fated to be painted over by that, and forgotten.
Most probably. No matter how much I spoil her, my love will not be rewarded.
However, just as it takes a long time to remember what you owe your parents, Ange will surely remember someday. She will remember the smiles you showed her.
Let her forget. One smile from her is the greatest parting gift I could ever take with me when my time comes. This is the essence of unrewarded love.
I guess grandfathers are always unrewarded.
Oh, but I have been rewarded. With Ange's smile just now to look back upon, I could happily pass on in my sleep tonight,
With a lonely laugh, Kinzo spun around, setting his cape fluttering. This was all the love he could offer Ange as a grandfather. Part of him wanted to be remembered, but he knew that he mustn't wish for that. That was how unrewarded love worked. After looking at Kinzo's back, Beato stared at Ange's back again.
Ange, even so, please remember it someday. Remember the smile that Kinzo once showed you.
It is also at this point, I will tell you, this has just ran right ahead into the next chapter technically, which is just continuing the tournament. So with that in mind, do you want to keep doing them or take a pause for now?
I think it would be nice to have them all collected together if possible.
Is that how you want to do it?
Unless you have any objections.
Nope, this is your thing. I'm letting you call the shots.
Well then. I suppose, until I have to start using them, I'm just going to use this one over here as the new traditional save. We've abandoned the left side.
Dang. That's our character arc.
Yep. Took us all the way to episode 8 to get to it. Anyone over here yet? Are you lying to me still? No. Okay.
Oops.
Well, that's going to be it for today's stream.
Yeah.
What else do we got on the docket? Oh, with thoughts?
Yeah.
It's weird actually having to do stuff.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
Well, it's not that I didn't like it. It's just, it just feels awkward.
It's quite the shakeup. What did it say in the introduction? Why not participate yourself?
Yep.
Now, at the very end.
Now at the very end, why not participate? I'll tell you why not, because I've been enjoying reading the book.
You don't...
I don't want to choose your own adventure. Yeah, I want to...
Yeah.
No, I'm sure it'll be fine to the end.
Mm-hmm. So they returned the gold. Made it all work out. Settled the whole inheritance issue.
All the siblings love each other now. They're just like kids again.
And Ava happened to also get an almond.
Yep. And Kinzo can die happy now, with no regrets.
And now everybody's throwing a nice little game of puzzles and riddles for Ange.
Mm-hmm. I have two wolves inside me.
Yeah.
One wolf is being very Ange about this and is being like, this is all wrong. When is the death and destruction going to start happening? Mm-hmm. But then there's another wolf inside me that's the optimist that is like, no, the point of this is to give Ange a story where that doesn't happen. So it's not going to happen. And they're combating. They're butting heads over it's so over and we're so back. So,
well,
that's where I'm at.
We still have a lot of episode to go.
Yeah.
And now you got to start solving these crazy little riddles.
Yeah. Which I did the math thing today. I got the right answer using the wrong formula.
Yep.
So we'll see if I continue that or if I actually get any of them right or just straight up wrong going forward. Mm-hmm. All right. How's the rest of the week looking? Pretty standard?
Pretty standard indeed. Tuesday, Fallout New Vegas, stream 2. Hopefully with less crashing. Join our adventures of Evil Gunner Man? Is that what I called him? Evil Gunner Man?
Evil Gunner Man?
That's my character's name, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, I wanted to use guns because Fallout has guns.
Well, yeah, no, I'm not ragging on you for using guns or anything. I'm just...
Don't know what faction I want to align with yet. I haven't found anyone that speaks to me. I don't care about Caesar.
Really?
I don't care about NCR, yeah.
I thought you would like Caesar's Legion.
No, they're too silly.
Too over the top for you?
Yeah. I need someone who's more low-key evil.
I don't want to spoil anything, but you're probably gonna like House then.
Yeah.
Or maybe not. You might pick, there's also a just do everything yourself route. Where you
We'll
can
see.
not pick any side and you can go your own way, as Miles Morales would say.
I'm kind of sort of doing that now. But either way, that's going on Tuesday, continuing that. Starting at 3 p.m. No videos next week still. We're still on our podcast break. And then Thursday, more Umineko. I believe at about 6.
All right.
And same for Sunday, probably.
Well,
Go watch the Castle Crasher if you haven't already watched that.
yeah, go watch that video. It's pretty good. It's a fun one.
Mm-hmm.
Guess we'll see all of you